folks were really excited about this opportunity. Community gardens are a lot of buzz right now for a lot of churches and a lot of communities. Plus, folks are trying to eat more healthy, be more green, and maybe even a way to save $1 or two in this economy. So we put forth a plan, and when I was a young child, we had a family farm up in McMinn County. We always had a big garden, and perhaps this was the roots of it. But on Sunday, we would. My grandparents and I would gather all of our produce, and we'd go driving around and giving it away on Sundays.
Oh.
And so I just thought we would build a big garden, and everyone would come in and help share a crop, and we would give it all away. Well, my board of gardeners said, you know, not everyone has taken part in a 2-acre garden before, and so that might be a little daunting. And as we walked through the process and decided what we were going to do, we decided to make raised beds and do it that way. And that way, folks, if they adopted a box, a garden box, it was 4 by 8, and that was a little 4 foot by 8 foot, and that was a little more manageable, and they could get it in their head. That's right. That's right. And so we, the church was very generous in helping us get this off the ground, and so there was no direct cost to the members of the church, and if there were non-members that wanted to come in and be a part, then they could join as well. And then all of a lot of the area schools, Cleveland State included, and Walker Valley High School and Bradley Central High School, at the end of the year, they were getting rid of some of the plants they had tried to sell in their greenhouses, and they just, every day I would go down there and there'd be more plants sitting there. I mean, folks were so generous, and plus we were new, and they were excited to have us be a part of the community and another community garden, of which I think there's 3 or 4 in our area right now. And so year 1 was pretty good. You know, it was a little shaky as we got off the ground, and we had some water problems. Our praying for rain didn't seem to get through.
Last year was a tough one, yes.
It was a rough year for rain, but we did fairly well. And what we initially tried to do with the organization of the garden is say that you can keep 30%. We're going to give 30% away. We're going to donate 30% to the church, which we would offer to the congregation on Sundays for donations to keep the garden going. Well, it ended up that folks were very generous with the garden, so we did not need the donations. Folks were very limited on how much they took, so it ended up we gave about 80% back to the community. And we did not get a formal plan. That's what we hope to do this year, giving plan per se. Sometimes we go to the emergency shelter, sometimes we go to a nursing home, sometimes I would just walk down Central Avenue and just hand it out to households, you know, and if folks knew people personally that might need it or use it, then they could do that too. So that was our plan coming out of year 1. This year we reorganized a little bit, and more folks wanted to get involved but didn't necessarily want to adopt a box, and so what we did this year is said that we had more community beds that we donated just for things for the community, and folks wanted to help weed and water and pick and things like that. They could bring their family down and do that, and then just be part of the garden, but not necessarily. I mean, if they take a cucumber or tomato, no harm, no foul, right? So, but anyway, we reorganized a little bit, and we have more non-members this year than we did last year, which is good, you know. And any way that we can help them start to talk through that process. If they want to know about church and more, then we can walk through that with them. But they've been great assets for our garden too.
Let me ask you, Alan, what type of products do you raise there?
We are more on the very fundamental side, very basics. You know, we have lots and lots of tomatoes because folks have been very generous with tomato plants. We have cucumbers, squash. Beans.
The things that people love in the spring of the year, love to cook those fresh green beans. And the tomato. There's nothing like a homegrown, vine-ripened tomato.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
And
so
Flagus and I enjoy sitting on the front porch with the red ribbon and watching you all
that's
work.
Right. I
mean, and he even directs. He'll even holler at Alan's father-in-law, Ken Hart, and say, Ken, you're not weeding that garden quite right. So,
and we holler back at them, try to get them across the street, but they always sit on the porch. I don't know, you know.
Well, it's interesting. I was down there yesterday, as we were talking earlier. I was eating at Rebecca Jay's, and I saw the garden, and I thought, I didn't know what it was. I'd never noticed it before. I'd been there many times.
There's a sign.
Saw the sign, said Giving Garden, and I looked closer, and it was green and beautiful and lots of things growing there. And I thought, wow, I got to find out about this. And lo and behold, you show up this morning.
I've been trying to get Alan. Now, Alan would have been on sooner, but his grandmother's farm was hit real badly with the tornado, so Alan spent a lot of time helping out there to get that back up and livable.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I couldn't get him on any sooner.
Yeah.
But I thought this would
That's
be
great.
great for Alan to talk about this. And we have several people. I know Mr. Cranfield, who's in a wheelchair, goes over every day and works his garden plats. And the thing about those raised beds, they're so nice to work in. When you get a little older, you know, bending all the way over is not as easy as bending almost all the way over.
Yeah, I understand about that.
And those garden beds are so nice, and it's a whole lot easier just to weed a 4x8 than 2 acres.
That's
yes,
right.
yes.
That's right.
We have to take a break, but we're going to keep Alan here and come back and talk about something else that he's involved in. We'll tease you a little bit about it. It's called the Low Country Boil. And if you're interested in that and want to know what that is, well, you just stay with us.
Let me give you a little plug here.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in the Giving Garden, they can call Broadstreet Church.
Sure.
Or they can email Alan at alanclark@charter.net.
Okay.
And he will tell them anything they need to know about the Giving Garden.
Well, great. Well, it's just a wonderful thing and a great outreach for the community, and you bless so many people. And you know, everybody loves good food, especially fresh food. And so
Absolutely,
it's a great thing that you're doing.
And I've watched families. There's families that go over there. There's one family, the grandmother and the mother and dad and the 3 grandchildren are over there doing the Parker family, and they're over there doing working together. And I think that's great. And I think the Finneysons have a box. And so I think that's really good.
That's fantastic. It's run by volunteers. And if you're interested in it, drive by and take a look at it. You'll be interested, and then you can give Alan a call or contact.
Call Broadstreet or email him at Alan Carter.
We have to take a break,
Alan
but
Clark.
we'll be back in just a moment and talk to Alan some more about another venture that he's involved in. So please stay with us.